Alrighty, what's up guys, single player Nacho here. The killers of Dead by Daylight symbolize many things, from finger-licking disgusting serial killers to otherworldly entities. But attached to every killer is a personal phobia that entrances every survivor and player they come across. There are obvious ones laid around every Dead by Daylight trial, like arachnophobia with the entity claws and its various spider-like apparitions. But there are some pretty interesting and unique phobias on this list that even surprised me. And believe me, I'm going to mispronounce every single one of them. So without further ado, let's get to it. First up is a very obvious one, anthropophagus phobia. The fear of cannibalism. I don't even know why this is a phobia. I think everyone should be scared of cannibalism. This is obviously attached to the hillbilly, who is ripe with human limbs. Hell, I think he even ate his own parents for a nice southern-style dinner. And the main man of inspiration, Leatherface, who wears the faces of his victims to cover up his own disfigurement. Next up, we have tetraphobia, which is the fear of the number 4. This unique and special phobia is attached to the Trickster, who I believe doesn't get a lot of love nowadays. Now, where is the connection? The Trickster's showstopper ability has him carrying exactly 44 blades. That's where that superstitious tetraphobia stems from. Interestingly enough, this is attached to the Trickster, who is of an Asian background, and in some Asian languages, the number 4 sounds very similar to the word used for death. So the next time you see the number 4, oh, you'd better run. Next up, we have trypophobia, or trypophobia, which is the fear of holes. This phobia is mostly attached to the twins, thanks to that disgusting, gruesome mutilation caused by the entity. Yes, Charlotte has a literal chest pocket to put little Victor in, and it's just like, how does that even work? But it counts for a hole, and that's where your trypophobia may come to light. You can also argue that trypophobia belongs to the Demogorgon, who leaves various patchy meat holes on the ground that connects to the upside down. I mean, when is a hole on the ground ever a good thing? They're primarily used for murderers and sinkholes, so screw that. Next up, we have a very deadly one. It's known as ONEIROPHOBIA, the fear of dreams. Having dreams when you go to sleep. Now, Mr. Freddy Krueger is the culprit in this case. We're talking about a killer that can control dreams all over the map, has the ability to make everyone fall asleep in a strange neck twist motion, and they're still running around. It's the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Now, for those unfortunate enough to suffer from oneirophobia, they have a visibly anxious and physical reaction to the act of falling asleep. I would too if there was a possible Freddy Krueger cameo in my dreams. Now, this one's kind of funny. ERGOPHOBIA, the fear of work. ERGOPHOBIA essentially applies to every single killer around the map, and just about everyone around the world. Who the hell wants to work? And how it applies to the actual gameplay is repairing the generators as you're being chased and possibly stabbed in the back. Of course, in the real world, ERGOPHOBIA is a usual case around stay-at-home moms that feel a sudden rush of anxiety when returning to work. I'm looking at you, Huntress. Gotta let all those little girls go, please. Next, we have emetophobia, the fear of vomit. This obviously belongs to the plague, Adiris. Now, I believe there are some very interesting fans out there that would love it if the plague vomited on them, and if you are one of them, please comment down below, plague barf. But for the rest of us, there's an obvious reason to stay away from the plague's vomit. We're talking about a stench that smells Babylonian and is just as old, that completely wiped out a civilization, and it's all thanks to that greenish yellowish substance that flies out of Adiris's mouth. Emetophobia usually consumes people when they have a traumatic experience during their first yakking. I mean, who enjoys their first vomiting session? I don't know, who knows? I surely did not. Next, we have BLENNOPHOBIA, the fear of ooze and slime, belonging to none other than the BLIGHT, Mr. Talbot Grimes. take a really close look at the Blight's appearance. People that suffer from BLENNOPHOBIA would not be able to take one gander at this Talbot guy. A melting, degrading mouth filled with cankerous sores. I just get this melted cheese appearance whenever I see the Blight. I mean, even this guy's lore, a former chemist who most likely worked with chemicals that were ooey and gooey. BLENNOPHOBIANs, beware. Now, thankfully, BLENNOPHOBIA is an extremely rare phobia to find, or for someone to have. But those who do have it, I mean, just look at the Blight's mouth oozing that orange juice. But it's not really orange juice, it's a concoction of entity stuff. That's gross. Next we have TRYPANOPHOBIA, the fear of needles. And this is a direct link to the nurse, Sally. Now, while this is unique to just needles, people that can't bear being pierced by them, let alone a tattoo, the nurse emboldens TRYPANOPHOBIA because of what she is and what she does. She works around a lot of needles and patients, hospitals. It's a perfect marriage for anyone that's scared of needles to be wary of. And this is perfectly detailed in one of her archives as the nurse slowly fades in and out of existence down that hallway. And she even taps on that needle, which I would imagine would be a 100% no-go for TRYPANOPHOBIANs. I think the visuals in this archive is a perfect explanation for those who suffer this phobia, what they actually think is going on when they're being pierced with needles or they're anywhere around their skin. Unfortunately for this patient, he's definitely being injected with something ominous. Next we have SWINOPHOBIA, which, you guessed it, is the fear of pigs. Perfectly held onto by Amanda Young, the pig from the Saw franchise. Now, pigs are innocent little pink creatures that don't do much besides roll around in mud and be cute. But people that suffer from swinophobia instead see Amanda with a pig mask. I mean, that's nightmare fuel for the greatest. Now, swinophobian people are not only afraid of the visual aspect of pigs, they don't like seeing them, they definitely don't like ingesting them as well. There is a vomit-like reaction, little callback to the plague there, when pig-filled meals arrive on their dinner plates. And there is a deeper meaning why Amanda Young uses a pig mask. It's all tied up in Saw lore. John Kramer, the original Jigsaw, was obsessed with the Chinese zodiac, specifically the year of the pig, and that's when he wanted his son to be born, to carry on his murderous trap death legacy. But John's son died during childbirth, so he came across Amanda, who was like a disciple of John's works, and therefore she started using a pig mask to symbolize this crazy obsession. I'd imagine this phobia against pigs, you want to stay away from the map, Coldwind Farm, hanging pig carcasses, nope, no thank you. We're getting down to the most demented phobias, and next up is electrophobia, belonging to the Doctor, possibly the gruesomest, evilest man to grace the killer roster in Dead by Daylight. Electrophobia is the fear of electricity. Need I say more when we see the various technology and devices created by Herman Carter, the Doctor. For those who suffer of electrophobia, the Doctor is, well, the devil. Should just change his name from Herman Carter to Satan Carter. His manipulation of electromagnetic fields would have these people running to their beds, shutting all the doors and obviously the lights off. Worse than all, Herman Carter uses electricity as a torture tool. As if the creation of this man wasn't bad enough, he uses fear against his own patients. Don't even get me started about the visuals used in the archives. Some pretty demented, devious stuff. Next we have apotemnophobia, the fear of dismemberment. And this goes to Rin Yamaoka, the spirit. You see, one day, long time ago, Rin was a regular human being with all of her limbs attached to her body, but one horrible night, her father entered a psycho rage, the origin being a demon-possessed katana. And with that katana, chopped Rin's body into pieces. And what we have left is the spirit, who would certainly cause all kinds of triggers for apotemnophobia. Strangely enough, the demonic, possessed Yamaoka bloodline has caused all of Rin's separated limbs, that rhymes, to come back into one blue, completely done for corpse. Look at how the spirit moves. Her idle position has her twisting and turning, her dismembered arms, legs, and other body parts. I don't think someone with apotemnophobia would last half a second in Rin's presence. And with good reason, she would probably cut you up in her own self-image. Well, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Which of these phobias do you guys relate to most? Are you an actual carrier of one of these phobias? Let me know in the comments down below. Share your stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more horror lore, lists, and mysteries. I appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you so much. And as always, stay single.